Good morning, everybody. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. We'll just focus on this chart, I suppose, and a little bit of stocks and stuff. So we're thinking about why it's moving down, opposed to why it should be moving up. So I just saw a post by, the bull. Everybody follows a bull, and it's not like one person's any better than the other, but. See, I just read a post that he put saying, oh, the technical analysis isn't working and the fundamental analysis isn't working. This bull market's messed up. I'm like, well, hang on a minute. What bull market are you looking at? This bull market looks pretty powerful and awesome to me. I mean, I don't really know what else to say. That is a pretty consistent, epic bull market that's moved into a golden cross, simple moving average golden cross just today. So yeah, I understand that this might be a bit frustrating and it might lead to continuation, but I mean it's not terrible, and it's certainly not saying that the TA doesn't work. Like when we were doing the stream on Sunday night, we saw that there was a 50 exponential resistance, and we also saw that across the board for most altcoins they were pushing into their 10 exponential, their 20 exponential, their 20 simple, whatever. They were at resistance across the board. And yeah, we like it when resistance breaks, but we also respect the fact that it doesn't break all the time and it can reject you. Now, this is a 50 exponential rejection like this. It's pretty significant. It's pretty hardcore. But if you move it down a notch to the 4 hourly, it's also part of a death cross retest, right? So the last death cross retest we had was, well, we had a few. We had this one, bang, 100,000. We had another one over here, bang, 98,500. We had this one here, which moved up a little further, closer to 100,000. And then we had this one here, it was like 94, 95. They all do the same thing, really, which is reject and bring you down to a new local low. This one didn't, though. This one didn't. So this death cross retest knocked you down to this golden cross retest, which then puts you in a bit of a strange scenario. So you can be bullish on the daily while being bearish on the 4 hourly. So what does this mean then? How do we interpret that? So you've got supports on the daily, which is where we are basically now. The support's 82,400. So you've got supports there, and then you've got resistances up here. So you're closer to support than you are at resistance, so that requires the decision to make either a long or buying. Yeah, that's what it is. And then when you move back up to the top of the range, you're closer to resistance than you are at the support. So it suggests you either sell or hold your breath, cross your fingers, and hope for it to break. But you don't really buy, if you know what I mean. So that's what it is that we're looking at. All trading's a game of support and resistance. That's all it is, a game of support and resistance. If we continue with this kind of movement, do you know what it is? It's a symmetrical triangle is what it is. A series of higher lows and lower highs creates a symmetrical triangle. We're going to measure it on candle bodies. So this is potentially what we're looking at. Maybe you could go for the exponential. So we're kind of looking like this, really. This is the kind of vibe that we might be in. It's very early. You don't really know what the symmetrical triangle looks like when you've only seen a support and a resistance and support, but it's the earliest you could call it, and this might be what we're looking at. So we're going up, down, up, maybe, down, maybe up and break out, or maybe down and break down. It's a triangle. It's 50-50. The only other thing we can look at would be to see if there's any clues given to us from divergence, and there's not really. It's just a series of high highs, higher lows for the RSI, which is kind of in keeping with the price action. You got no setup or signal here on the itchy cloud either. You're overheated on the monitor index. Not that hot, to be honest with you. 92, 91. It's not that hot, but hot enough to get a rejection. So basically we ought to be turning around, is what I'm saying, from this area. This is the sort of area that you should be looking for a turnaround, and that will be it. That is basically it. Now if you move yourself over to traditional markets, you got yourself the US 500. What do we have over here? We have a death cross on the 4 hourly, simples and exponentials, rejection from that, and then move down to the bottom of this trend line, and that's where we found a bit of a response. We got a series of higher highs, higher lows on the money flow index, which is classic bullish divergence. Okay, so that's fine. Move yourself over to the daily. Well, the daily at this point now has a short signal, which could take you further, 5,700. That could easily be where we go from here, easily. And then a decent response from there. With the lower lows, you've got some higher lows, which is classic bullish divergence. So yeah, it's frustrating. It definitely is annoying. Does it mark the end of anything particularly? No. Does it mark the continuation of something? Possibly, yeah. Does it mean that technicals don't work? No. And does it mean that the fundamentals don't work? No. What we're looking at is basically a series of higher highs, higher lows on the higher term time frames, sitting around a golden cross, which generally has a decent chance of success, V-shaped recovery and whatnot. Just recognise that what we saw was a death cross retest on a 4-hourly after a, well, is it a buy the rumour, sell the news? You know? Remember what we were saying? Said, look, at the moment, these are just tweets. Right? They're just tweets. They might have implications later on down the line, but at the moment, they're just tweets. They're just tweets. You know, we can get excited about tweets. That's fine, and we did, and we enjoyed that. And you know, those super epic, mega big longs that I had, yeah, exited those on those tweets. But you know, what's the reality of the tweets? Nothing really at the moment, is it? Nothing. It's just words in digital format on people's phones. And is that a fundamental reason why price should sustain higher prices? Not really sure. Right, I'll leave it with you there. Not much more to say. I'm just waffling on here. Long story short, we're at support. Let's see where that takes us for the rest of the day. Same with S&P. So we're at support today. Most likely going to see a response from here. Bounce. Basically, that's what I'm saying. A breakdown from here, not good. Would create a new candle body and wick low. And that's it. Right, thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.